Hello everybody, welcome to this video. We are wrapping up and reviewing all suprasegmental features of stress, rhythm, and intonation. In this video, we are going to be exposed to more exercises related to every single suprasegmental feature. Well, let's go. Let's read this sentence. Can you guess the correct word stress of the last word? Let's read it together. They shut down the university cafeteria because the food was unhealthy or unhealthy. Which one is correct? The second pattern is correct. The prefix un does not take the stress, so it is unhealthy. In this table, once again, you're reminded of some of the prefixes that make nouns, adjectives, and verbs, but they are stressed on the first syllable of the root element. Let's try this example. Take your time, read it, and then we read it together. Try this one as well, please. Wow, let's read it together. I explained the proposal, but he said it was incredible and I do not have the chance to win the award. I explained the proposal, but he said it was incredible and I do not have the chance to win the award. Number 2. What a surprise! I never forget and will complain until I obtain or regain what I deserve. What a surprise! I never forget and will complain until I obtain or regain what I deserve. Good. The words that are made up of a prefix, like the ones you see in the underlined words, they are actually making compound words. If they are verb, they take a stress on the second syllable. If they are noun, they take a stress on the first one. Well, take your time and read these two sentences. All right, now let's read them together. The upkeep of traffic safety in Memphis is the job of Tennessee Department of Transportation. The upkeep of traffic safety in Memphis is the job of Tennessee Department of Transportation. Don't overload the truck. The truck carried an overload. Don't overload the truck. The truck carried an overload. Let's practice some more sentences. First, take your time, read the sentence, and then we read it together. A branch overhangs the water. We stood under the overhang while it rained. It was an example of the authorities' lack of foresight. He had overdosed and could not walk on the overpass. What was the upshot of that meeting? Good. Well, we learned that the words that function both as noun and as verb, if they are two syllables and play the role of a noun, the first syllable takes a stress. But if they are a verb, the second syllable takes a stress. Let's read this sentence. Farmers produce fresh produce. I am happy with this increase in our revenue, but we still need to decrease our expenditure. He presented an interesting lecture and got a present. They permitted me to have a parking permit. You can object if you are not happy with this object. Well, what about this sentence? Do your best and read this sentence. We can pause the video because these words seem to be a little bit more mouthful compared to whatever we have been exposed to. Well, first let's get reminded of the stress rule of the words that end up with suffixes like double E, double ER, ESE, ETTE, ESQUE, and double O. To make it easy for you to remember, the suffixes that you see here either have got two E's or two O's. And now let's try that sentence. As we learned earlier, a stress falls on these suffixes. So this sentence sounds like this. The Vietnamese trainee volunteered to help the Lebanese and Chinese refugees. The Vietnamese trainee volunteered to help the Lebanese and Chinese refugees. What we learned about the rhythm of English was that the rhythm is produced by the interval time between the stressed syllable and unstressed syllable. To produce a speech with a good rhythm, we need to have a good knowledge of word stress and also a knowledge of the distinction between content word and function words. In this table, once again, we are exposed to the content words and function words. You can pause the video and study them more carefully. So first, try to distinguish the content words and function words in this sentence, and then take your time and read it aloud. All right, let's read it together. This is mine. If you're looking for a pencil sharpener, you should not waste your time here. Once again, this is mine. If you're looking for a pencil sharpener, you should not waste your time here. And then intonation, the rise and the fall of the pitch. Well, what we learned was that whenever we have got items in a series, the items take a rising intonation and the last item takes a falling intonation in a statement. Well, let's read this statement here together. The professor wanted the students to go to the library, Google some relevant articles, and present a project to a friend. The professor wanted the students to go to the library, Google some relevant articles, and present the project to a friend. And if you remember, the reason that we have got rising intonation is something that the speaker is producing, so that tells the listener that his speech is not done and he wants to continue. Well, learning a standard pause in between your speech. It is something that we learn in thought groups. So thought groups are the standard chunks of speech that gives the chance to the speaker to take breath and to package the ideas coherently for the listener. And the listener will have easier time understanding these ideas. In other words, these ideas become digestible for the listener. Well, there are some rules that we learn about thought groups. I have provided the rules once again in this video. You can pause the video to study them. But let's go and have practice. A very interesting exercise is provided here. So what you see at the top can be read in two ways. Therefore, because of different pauses that we can apply, this statement can be a little bit ambiguous. Well, the first one would sound like, woman without her, man is nothing. This sentence means that women are strong. The second sentence, woman without her man is nothing. However, this sentence is anti-feminist statement, and it means that women are weak. So it is crucially important where in a statement you apply the pause. I would like to remind you of the characteristics of thought groups. Not only the pause, but also there is another quality that we apply in our speech. Every thought group ends up with a rising intonation on the last content word. So in the first sentence, woman alone is a thought group. So we say, woman without her, man is nothing. The second sentence, woman without her man is nothing. So you may come up with a question why the word her in the first sentence got a rising intonation, knowing that it is a pronoun and pronouns are among the function words. I need to say that we gave it a rising intonation just for the sake of emphasis. Well, practice makes perfect. There are 5 sentences over here. Take your time, read them, and then when you're ready, we can practice them together. Well, take your time. Well, let's read them together. Number 1. The first item on our agenda is to address parking. Number 2. I'd like to introduce my wife, Nita. Number 3. If you take care of the accounts, I'll handle the meeting. Number 4. Microsoft CEO Bill Gates started a charity to fight poverty. Number 5. My new phone is acting up. So could you email me instead? Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you also enjoyed this video.